Like this video, comment and subscribe right now for a chance to win absolutely nothing. My man taking a leak at second base. Legendary. Throwback to when my daughter was 9 and obsessed with mermaids. She wanted to be one so bad she found a spell on YouTube that would turn her into one. Watching her gagging from trying to eat sardines while reciting a spell with her feet in a bucket of water for an hour was magical. You just mermaid my day. When I was a kid I got diagnosed with a dust mite allergy. They showed me a very enlarged photo of a dust mite and I thought that they were legit that huge. So I had my mom make me a sandwich and I put it under my bed so they would eat it, not me. You all wanna go on helicopter ride? We may get donuts too. I don't know, might end up like Lebron. That was rude, my bad. I got this book from a book fair when I was 6. These were my answers, lol. Name 10 superhuman powers you'd love to have. Time. Shapeshift. Fly. Not be fat. Super Dave. My 6-year-old watching me pour Drano down his bathroom sink. 6-year-old. What's that? Me. It dissolves whatever gunk is clogging up your drain. 6-year-old. Cool. Even the screwdriver down there? Me. The wah. Lol. I went by Rocky in kindergarten because of this movie. First day of school my teacher went around and asked our names and wrote them out on a card on our desks and I hated mine. So I said Rocky. She asked how to spell it and I said R-O-K-Y and she asked if there was a C in there. So I said yay. Flash forward like 6 weeks and I did something good. So my teacher sent me home with a happy gram and it had the name Rocky on it. So my mom asked and eventually figured out I had been going by Rocky the entire school year. Lol, I still get shut for it almost 30 years later. My toddler dropped my phone while she was FaceTiming my mom, gasped, picked it back up and asked, "Grandma, are you okay?" It was the cutest dumbest thing I've ever seen. I cancelled a Zoom call mid-presentation because my 9-year-old told me water was running all over her bathroom floor. My 12-year-old son called me at work early one evening. He was home trying to help with making dinner for his siblings and for me and his mom. Before we got home, I could hear the frustration in his voice. He was trying to mash the potatoes. Holy cow, dad, I never realized how strong mom was. I can't do it. It took me a minute to think and then said, son, did you cook them all the way? And he replied, cook them? When I was a kid, I went through a phase where I walked on the balls on my feet for a week or two. I'm autistic. So my parents thought it was a sensory thing. I actually just wanted to walk like my favorite Pokemon at the time, Lucario. When I was young I thought that trees made the wind. It seemed real to me because the trees were always swaying when it was windy. Well, yes, but actually no. My cousin, who was 11, was a huge fan of GTA 5. So when he comes over to my house he always wanted us to roleplay as GTA 5 characters. I used to own crappy plastic guns so it made the role-playing better. He roleplays as Franklin, which means he said the M word a lot, even telling me I'm his M word. I still think about it to this day. So kids aren't allowed to play tag at school. So my kids played Crown Virus. They couldn't touch, but coughed on each other to tag them. She won't let go. My friend's kid decided to make his own popsicle. May 21st, 2000. Today mommy and my brother and I went to Circus City and I got the Britney Spears CD. Oops. I did it again. But I really don't know what Britney did again. Dear Mrs. Thompson, it was brought to my attention that Tommy and his friend Jake have been conducting a contest in my class that they've named the biggest budgie ball. Apparently, they each keep their collections in their pencil cases. Please investigate and make sure this ball disappears or their game is postponed forever. My 7-year-old cousin has beef with me because my birthday is 3 days before his. I'm trying to process this. No, that's not how it works. This story written by my son. The Adventures of Lego Boy and Godzilla. One day a boy was born. His mom was a fish and his dad was a Lego. He had a friend. And his name was Godzilla. They played games. One time I met a small autistic child at the vet and told him I'm autistic too. Then he asked if he could pet the kitten I had with me, and I said yes. When he was done petting her, his mom told him to say thanks, and he thanked the kitten. I used to play with this cup in the bath and drink water out of it for years. Did it in the shower too as I got older. It had a handle on the end of it, and I never knew why. One day I witnessed my mother use this cup in the toilet violently, and that was the moment I realized what a plunger was. Oh god. You realize how dumb we were as kids when you hear some 6-year-old yellow yeah. Well, I have 182 fingers. Wait, what? When I was about 3 to 5 years old, I first had imaginary friend Hedgehog. My mum has to serve food for him as well, or flush toilet. I don't know how long after that, but I'm talking about days/weeks. I myself started to identify as a hedgehog. I was always crying when mom put clothes on me because I was worried that I ripped them. When I asked my mother what she did about that, she said that she just thought it was really cute. Was just in the hairdresser's waiting for my turn and a kid in front of me got up into the hairdresser's chair and was asked what kind of haircut he would like. The kid replied, "Don't know," to which the hairdresser asked, "How about I give you a mustache?" The kid screamed, "No, oh," as if that was a legitimate option. Kids are stupid. The kids found this Leonard Skinner tape in the creek bed and asked if it was from the Civil War. When I was little, I could never understand why miners weren't allowed to buy cigarettes from a machine. And even at around 6 I thought it was because of explosions in a mine from dust. Then I learned the difference between miners and miners. I went for a walk in the park tonight, and some kid rode past me on a bike and said, "See you later, crocodile." My 4-year-old cousin, absolutely amazed, asked me if our brown paper towels were either chocolate or mocha flavored. Tasty. Oh my god, you cannot make this up. Son was quietly playing in his room, or so I thought, when I heard his door slowly open and him tiptoe behind me. He tapped me on the shoulder and triumphantly declared, "I don't like having to peep, so I've decided I'm never going to peep ever again. I have a new solution. Look." I was confronted by his neck behind wrapped from cheek to cheek with scotch tape. Took everything I had not to burst out laughing right then and there. Mom's recipe for chocolate cookies with sprinkles and spots all over them. 10 cups chocolate chips, 4 cups sugar, 10 pounds of flour, 2 slices of peanut butter, 2 slices of watermelon, 2 slices of lettuce, 2 more slices of lettuce. Cook 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. My mommy does that part. When my preschool teacher first said we should always walk on the pedestrian crossing when walking on the street, I thought that meant we could only walk on the white lines painted on the road. I spent months jumping from line to line on every crosswalk, and my mom never said anything because she thought I was just playing. It wasn't until one day, when she was in more hurry than usual, that she told me to stop messing around. I said the teacher taught us to always walk on the crossing, and she just started laughing, because she never realized I was a dumbass who didn't understand we should walk on the area of the crossing, not the crossing itself. My kids are up north visiting their grandparents. My 12-year-old just sent me a video of her 8-year-old sister having an absolute meltdown in the car. Screaming, crying, red in the face, refusing to buckle her seatbelt. I asked why she was so upset and my oldest responded, "She's freaking out because she wants her hair to be long." One day, when I was 7 to 8, I watched a Pingu subtitles parody video and thought it was the real thing. It constantly said the word duck, and I thought they were referring to baby penguins. So the next day, while in the car, I said to my mom, "What do you call a baby penguin?" She didn't know, so I loudly said a duck. I was lectured and grounded after that. In kindergarten, I had to be dragged to the principal's office kicking and screaming because I had tried to incite a rebellion after the teacher showed us an anatomically correct picture of a human heart, and I insisted that the classic scalloped heart symbol was actually correct and that she was lying to us. When I was in first grade, 6 or 7 years old, I was eating lunch in the cafeteria. For some reason my armpits started hurting. Growing pains, I guess. I decided the best thing to do was put some of the yogurt I was eating on my armpits. Later on that day I noticed my armpits smelled. So when I got home I told my mother, who was quite surprised. I casually said maybe it's the yogurt I put on them. My mom was very confused. I was a dumb kid when I was a lot younger, about 6 or 7. I used to always think that taxes worked with the police and fire department, but only helped in really big emergencies. When your 9-year-old's legs hurt and you leave the house to her yelling it's polio. I explained to my kid that quiet hours means we have to whisper and not be loud. He kept asking me what time it was. When it was finally 7 he yells, quiet hours are over. Now we don't have to whisper. Pretty sure my camping neighbors aren't happy. Overlooking nature's majesty, I remembered that one time we were sitting on the porch midday when my neighbor's 5-year-old kid came outside, ran around for a minute, did a couple of karate moves into the air, then walked over and pissed all over the side of their car. Then, he grabbed a fallen tree limb and proceeded to repeatedly strike the side of the car where he had just pissed. Sticker story. Whores. I like whores. Whores have other whores friends. Whores like carrots. You wouldn't think they could, but they can put their legs straight up. Whores make you feel good. My dad wants a horse, but my mom says no. When I am 16 or 20 I will buy my own horse. When I was 3 I thought I was born at the age of 3 and I was actually a robot. A soul kid at a wedding gets pawned. When I was in my 20s I went to my friend's wedding. I was pretty smashed. There was a kid maybe 5 years old who was running around being bratty, talking shut to guests and throwing rocks at people. Of course the parents didn't do shut. So at one point he throws a rock at my friend and hits them. And they took off. The kid picked up a rock and was sizing me up. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "Hey kid, do you like candy?" To which he got super excited and said yes. Then I looked at him disgusted and said, "Then why don't you marry it?" Then I got up and left. Duck off, bratty kid. When I was a kid you told me these vents in the grocery stores were filled with candy and that you were gonna put me up inside them so I could eat as much as I wanted, and I totally believed you for a while. Lol, I don't remember that. Today kid brought me his bath pitcher. He called it a pitcher titcher, and when I said it's for bath time he said bath time. Learning words fast. Then I finished getting dressed and found him in his bathroom using the pitcher to scoop out toilet water and dump it onto the floof. When I was a kid I misunderstood the phrase "you are what you eat" and I wanted to be a giraffe, so I ate some leaves off a tree in the backyard because giraffes eat leaves. Did not become a giraffe. Did vomit green stuff. Milo meanwhile is so in love with the supermarket that we have to take him every day. He even named his stuffed animal dog Supermarket. When I was like 5, my parents took me to Disney World. I did fine. My brother on the other hand couldn't go on the rides. So instead he was obsessed with the garbage cans. He was fascinated and we couldn't drag him away from the garbage cans. Though they were delightful and they were like a ride to him. Visiting a spring-fed pool, my dad told me to do a belly flop and I blindly listened to him. Little did I know, the cold water would make it more painful. The absolute rage this simple 3-piece puzzle caused stupid kids in the 90s. Are you dumb? You prob think I'm a kid. If you were smart and grown up enough you would know school ascent even started. Kids will post up with their iPads in the most random spots and not move for hours on end. In 5th grade a drug abuse resistance education officer came to our class to take to us about the dangers of drugs and gangs. I thought I was gonna be cool and smugly asked the officer, if I break the law and you arrest me, what's to stop me from opening the car door and running away? The officer laughed and informed me that cop cars don't have door handles where the criminals sit. My genius response to that was, oh, as my classmates laughed at me, lol. My son, 6, and his friend, 7, are playing at the local playground. The ground is covered in wood chip fibers. My son's friend said he didn't want to get any splinters, so he took off his shoes and proceeded to run around barefoot. Then my son thought it was a smart idea and took his shoes off, running through the wood chips barefoot, so he too wouldn't get a splinter. When I was 4 years old, I decided for some reason to get a bat and smash my living room TV. I don't know why, honestly. However, I didn't get grounded, only scolded surprisingly. Was looking through my old childhood books to see if anything worth selling and found I added bet cricks to the wazzles. I was walking to do some laundry and I walked by this group of kids. They were very young, maybe 6 to 8 year olds. Anyways, I walked past them and one said, I know you, and then another said, I know where you live. Finally all the others joined in and said, I know where you live too. It wasn't to be creepy, they just know where I live, lol. Look at that hair doll, lol. Love it. So, me, Steve and Logan are in a store shopping. I'm standing with my back to Steve and Logan and happen to be next to a woman who also has brown curly hair. Logan, I didn't know which one was mommy at first. Me, I'm the one with the frizzier hair. My hair is a bit messy today and I didn't feel like washing it again. Logan, yeah, that lady has hair like curly fries you'd expect to get, and you have hair like the curly fries you actually get. He knows how to make his mama feel special. Bah ha 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 ha. That's great. When I was 4 to 8, I was terrified of the color pink because I had a dream where a pink monster had cut me up and put me in a stew. It still gives me a bit of anxiety on bad days. I'm on mobile, so sorry for the shutty formatting. This happened a few minutes ago and I still can't ducking believe this happened. So I'm sitting in an auditorium during my music festival's daily concert and I'm in the back row with a friend. In front of us are a group of young kids, around 10 or 11. They are making a ton of noise and constantly getting up during the performance to hear the loud ass creak of the folding chairs, which was extremely annoying and disrespectful to the performer. After a few minutes of this shut, one of the girls in the group turns around for some reason, looks me in the face, points to the pianist, and does the thing where she holds her hand in zero shape and moves it back and forth like a ducking below jab. I'm looking at my friend like, what the actual duck, as she's literally 10 ducking years old. This is the craziest shut I've seen all ducking day, and I swear to the stars, the moon and everything I own that I'm not making this up for a dead karma. So yeah, that's my story. Again, I'm on mobile, so sorry for the shutty formatting. Me, we're cycling and he made a contest where we have to test who can cycle the slowest from back gate to front gate without falling. I was cycling pretty slow but reached there before me. I knew I had one bit, then he said, see, even when we are seeing who can cycle the slowest, I'm faster than you. So I'm better than you. It just came to my mind right now. Yahoo Answers. What did my dad just say to me? I was listening to my iPod, so I couldn't hear him. Random story. So one time, a while back, I was at a Christmas Eve party, and there were these little apple pie things I eat around 3, and after the party my family went home. My mom put me to bed and locked my door. The lock was on the outside because the previous Christmas I stayed up to catch Santa. Then my mom unlocked the door without me knowing. For if I had to use the bathroom 1 to 2 hours later, I couldn't sleep and my stomach was hurting. Like if someone punched your gut and just left their hand there. I'm yelling to get my parents' attention because my idiot self didn't try the door to see if it was unlocked. Eventually my mom hears my pain and opens my door and I bolt to yolk. I yolked in the sink. Turns out eating 3 cinnamon covers mini apple pies is not good for you. I will never eat one again. Dog walkers. To her it looks like chocolate, but one click and she could lose her sight. Fact. Dog mess can cause blindness. What if this was your daughter? Please bag and bean your dog mess. Thank you. Nightmare about Carson's. When I was kid around 6 or 7 I had this nightmare about the department store Carson's. Anyway, in the dream I was in the store by myself and the store was closing. The symbol glowed red and bars came down, so I was trapped inside. I ended up hiding behind a sales counter and people dressed in white robes with the Carson's logo on the front grabbed me and pulled me into a dark room. They locked me up overnight and didn't let me out till morning. The people that wore the robes turned out to be the store employees and I don't think I have gone to a Carson's department store ever since that nightmare. This happened when I was 2 years old. It wasn't entirely my fault, but whatever, it's funny. I was in the ocean with my mom and brother. My mom was constantly watching me. My brother was 5 and he knew how to swim well. I was in a round inflatable buoy with like holes for the legs cause I couldn't swim. My brother was constantly telling my mom, "Look at me mom, I wanna show you something." And my mom would answer, "I'm sorry, you know I can't, I need to watch your sister." So after many times of asking, my mom said in her head, "Nothing can happen in 5 seconds, right?" So she watched my brother doing a handstand. In those faithful 5 seconds a wave arrived and my boy turned over with now my head underwater. My mom didn't notice, so after a few seconds a random lady saw me and came to save me. So yeah, this is a story of how I almost drowned cause I was 2 and was too dumb to save myself. When I was little, I was playing outside and my dad saw a bee and he told me to run. So I sprinted full speed at the bee. And a few years ago, before bees were announced to be in Minecraft, I had a dream where I was being chased by a huge square bee. And after I told my mom, she told me that story.